Assalamu Alaikum. If anyone made a mistake in the blessed gathering, it would not be spread. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would pay complete attention while talking to someone. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would not gaze at anyone's face. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam was shyer than even a virgin girl. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would always say salam first. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would say salam to children as well. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would say labbaik, I am here, when anyone called him. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam never stretched his blessed legs towards people in the gathering. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam often sat facing the Qibla. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam never took revenge against anyone due to any personal reason. Instead of taking revenge, he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam always forgave those who distressed him. Apart from jihad, he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam never hit anybody with his blessed hands, not even his wives and slaves. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam spoke gently. A blessed hadith says, on the day of judgment, the worst person amongst the people in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal is one whom people left because of his bad language. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would talk so gently that anyone could count the words he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam spoke. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam was naturally very gentle and would remain delighted. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would never scream. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would never speak harshly. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would never blame people. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam was not a miser at all. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam saved himself from three things: quarreling, arrogance, and involving himself in unnecessary activities. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would never find faults with people. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would only say the things that was a means of reward for him. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would have patience even with the harsh question of travel or stranger. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would never interrupt anyone's conversation. If somebody went beyond the limit, he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would forbid him or leave his place. It was his great simplicity that he sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam had not fixed any specific place to sit. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would something rest on a mat and sometimes on floor even without spreading anything. He sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam would never laugh so loudly that others, if present, could hear. The blessed companion Razila Ta'ala Anhu narrated that he had not seen anyone smile more than the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam. Dear Islamic brothers and sisters, bringing my speech to an end, I take the honor to mention some Sunnah, blessings of Sunnah, and some good manners. The beloved Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam said, the one who loved my Sunnah loved me, and the one who loved me would be with me in heaven. Subhanallah, Subhanallah. Breaking of relations is haram. Allah Azza wa Jal has said in the Holy Quran, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ الَّذِي تَسَأَلُونَ بِهِ وَالْأَرْحَامَ. Fear Allah in whose name you ask your rights from one another, and be mindful of your blood relationships. Regarding the foregoing verse, it is stated in the Tafsir Mazhari that is refrain from breaking off relation. 7 sayings of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Ta'ala Alaihi Wasallam. 1. Believing in Allah Azza wa Jal and the Judgment Day should treat relatives with kindness. On the Day of Judgment, 3 types of people will under the shade of the Arsh of Allah Azza wa Jal. One who treats relatives with kindness will be among them. The one who breaks off relation will not enter heaven. The best amongst all people is the one who recites the Holy Quran in abundance, adopts more piety, calls people towards righteousness and prevents them from evils the most, and that treat his relatives with kindness the most. Without doubt, the most preferred sadaqah is the one that is given to a relative who holds concealed and mighty. If there is a relation severing person among a community, mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal does not descend there. One who likes that a palace for him be built in heaven, and that his rank be raised, should forgive the one who oppresses him, bestow the one who deprives him, and establishes relations with the one who breaks relation with him. There are 10 virtues of treating relatives with kindness. It brings about the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. It pleases people. It delights angel. It earns your praise for Muslims. It upsets Satan. It increases age. It brings blessings and sustenance. It pleases the deceased forefather, that is, the Muslim father and the grandfather. It fosters harmony. It increases reward after demise because people make dua for such a person. The entire Ummah is agreed that the Sila Rahim is a wajib and the breaking of relation is a haram. Which are the relatives that must be treated with kindness as a wajib obligation? Some scholars have stated that they are Zuhri Mahram, and some others stated they are Zuhri Mahram. Zuhrim relatives, regardless of whether they are Mahram or not. Apparently, the latter ruling is more accurate. Ahadith contain an unconditional order of treating relatives with kindness. The Holy Quran also unconditionally stated, Zawil Kurba, that is, the relatives. However, as there are different levels of relations, there are also different levels of treating relatives with kindness. Parents have the greatest status. After them it is the status of Zuri Mahram, that is, relatives marriage is haram with forever due to nasabi, that is, genealogically relation with them. After them is the status of the rest of relatives depending upon how close relationship they have. One can treat his relatives with kindness in different ways. For example, giving them gifts, providing them help if they need, saying salam to them, meeting them, talking to them, and treating them gracefully and nicely. If a person in a foreign country, he should remain in correspondence with his relatives so that relationship is not broken off. If possible, he should come to his country so that tie with his relatives are strengthened. This will also develop harmony amongst relatives. Phoning relatives or staying in contact with them by internet is also very useful. Kind treatment does not only mean treating those relatives kindly who have treated you kindly. This is actually an exchange of treatment. For example, sending a gift to the relative who has sent you a gift or going to the house of one who comes to yours. In actual fact, kind treatment means establishing tie with the one who cuts off ties with you and caring about the relatives who ignore you and stays away from you.